Okay, so like just picking up where we left off, we were talking about travel. So tell me a little bit about modes of transportation.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different options, and it really depends on where you are, right? So I mean, I think the main mode of transportation for most people is train, right? The whole country is connected by train, and that's how the majority of people get around. But in places like Utah County, like in the north, where you're going to be starting off, there aren't any train connections, or the train connections are a little bit inconvenient, right? So, like in the north and in sort of more remote areas, buses is the most common way, and those are really good actually. And like I mentioned before, I flew a lot while I was in India, so flights compared to here are really cheap. You'll be spending like $20–30 maybe on a one-way ticket. So yeah, it's great. It's very convenient to fly as well.
So I guess if I wanted to cover more territory, like right now to stay safe, I feel like I need to stick to Rishikesh, the yoga ashrams, stay in that really spiritual space. But there are things that I would love to see that as I'm talking to different people in the community, including Nick, there are definitely places in India that I would love to travel to. But being a woman, small in stature, and having never done anything like this before, there's a certain element of a little bit of fear or apprehension, I think mostly. And so I think that maybe once I get there, I'm going to look forward to maybe some texts or emails from you showing me maybe some of the locations that you traveled to, some of the places you stayed, so that I'll have a bit of a reference, because I'm really flying by the seat of my pants to some degree, because I'm just going and I have only a few accommodations and only a few expectations of what I want to do until I get there.
Yeah.
So having had a chance to talk to you, find out some of the cool things you did, I'm going to then be able to take that and perhaps build on it for myself, feeling a little bit more secure, a little bit more safe, knowing that somebody that I love and know has done it will give me a little bit of wind beneath my wings to be a little more adventurous than I'm feeling right in this very moment. But my heart and soul are open, so who knows what that will bring, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's normal to be apprehensive, especially, I mean, when you're to a place you've never been before, and also like I mentioned before, I think people in India are fantastic. They're just the best people in the world. But things do happen, and there are unfortunate stories, and it's something you have to, it's definitely something when you're traveling alone you have to be conscientious about for sure. But I think once you get there, your confidence will build, and you're gonna relax, and you're gonna get you're gonna realize that there's so much to India that is that's amazing. You can't miss. You just absolutely can't miss some places. So and like some really, if you're looking for like a deeply spiritual trip, there's a few places that outside of Rishikesh that I would highly recommend that you go visit. But just such a rich place with amazing people. So.
And where are some of those locations that you might suggest?
Yeah, of course. So I mean, there's like Rishikesh is very popular amongst Indian tourists. When I was in Rishikesh, and just south is Haridwar, a very holy city on the Ganges as well. That's definitely a place you should go see. There were a lot of foreign tourists in the east of the country, in the town of Varanasi, which I'm sure you've heard about. Oldest inhabited city in the world, birthplace of Shiva, on the Ganges, right? Very spiritual place. People are bathing in the river. People are, praying to the river in the morning. People are cremating bodies at night and sending and disposing them in the river. Very spiritual place, sort of like the beginning and end of life for Hindus. Outside of Hinduism, I would say, if you go to places like Dharamshala, a lot of foreigners go there as well. That's where the Dalai Lama lives.
And that is actually one of my locations will be to visit the Dalai Lama. I'm actually going to be writing to the Dalai Lama because by putting it out there, there's a really good chance that he will take meeting with me, and I believe that he will. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, you can message his office. I did the exact same thing too when I was there. He's doing teachings in December as well, so maybe you might have missed those already. But yeah, no, and the communities there is really good. It's a Buddhist community, but you have a lot of Nepalese, not Nepalese, a lot of Tibetans that moved there, escaped China. So the whole community there, the people there is fantastic. But a lot of foreigners. who are there. So, a lot of interesting people, a lot of like meditation institutes and yoga institutes and things like that. So that's really interesting. And then, I mean, the most interesting religion in India for me personally are the Sikhs of Punjab. Go to Amritsar, the best people in all of India, the best food in all of India, the most peaceful place in all of India, the Golden Temple. Just, oh my God, you can't miss it. Yeah, I recommend them. You know, if you're looking for a spiritual trip, those are the must-go-to places. And then there are even more places. Like if you're willing to, do a little bit of trekking, Kedarnath, a beautiful temple out in the mountains of Uttarakhand. That you can't miss it.
Right on. Well, I'm going to thank Nick for joining us and giving us some information on his travels, and thank you so much for taking time to come and have a cup of tea with us. We love you very much. Welcome home, and I'm sure it won't be long till you're flying back to India.
Maybe sometime soon.
Sometime soon. Cheers, everybody. Talk soon.